As above, so below, we're talking about Venus energy. I like to say Venusian. To each and every one of you guys, if this is your first time in my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs, sir and ma'am, are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. It is for melanated people. All of those that do come to my live understand that our chief agenda is to give melanated people knowledge, wisdom, understanding how to do real conjuring, real magic. And on this live, I do not teach my personal beliefs or practices. I teach universal laws. I want to say first of all, hello and salutations to my madrina, to my padrino, and to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjace. To each and every one of you guys that follow me on YouTube, I appreciate you. Any of my social media platforms, I really want to say thank you to my melanated people. I also want to say hello to Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on today. Friday is about Venus. Venus is about the senses, and it's about the laws of attraction. And one of the things that I want to discuss on today, because when it comes down to conjure, mysticism, and magic, a lot of times people do not understand. And the reason I'm saying not understanding, because I want to believe that people don't intentionally get into a relationship without understanding its value and why they entered into those relationships in the first place. And I am coming from the aspects of spiritual relationships, but it can also go for natural relationship. What's up, my Demetrius, my Gemini in the house? What's up, my baby Scorpio? Thank you for joining us. I know that many of you guys are at work. I'm retired, so y'all know I'm gonna be doing my own thing. I did so much work yesterday at the cemetery. Then I was at the church getting Iligba stuff together. I went to Miami, so I've been going and doing, and so I was tired, and so I was kind of late this morning. So my day is on time, but it's starting behind. My baby Scorpio say, "That's right, baby. Get that money. You can always replay or listen." I want to say this, and I want you to understand the significance of relationship. And my subject is why relationships are valuable and should be nourished. And one of the things that people have a misconception about me, I'm a Sagittarius, Moon in Aries, and rising sign Pisces, is that they feel that if somebody's attracted to me for whatever reason, that I should want that relationship. And me being 52 years old and understanding attraction, understanding to desire, understanding the universal laws of reciprocity. Reciprocity allows an individual to nourish a relationship that they deem valuable. What's up there, Crab Cakes? Today, if y'all don't mind, it's Monique's birthday. Please wish her a happy birthday on today, if you don't mind. My thing is, when it comes down to real magic, real spirituality, I don't want to believe that people get into relationships to use people, even though that's the truth, to get out of people, places, anything that you have a relationship, whether it's Egon, ancestors, a relationship when it comes down to your cauldrons, your infumbe. I don't care if it's your pati pimba. I watch people with their relationship with their Bible. They walk off and leave their Bible. They walk off like you have to really, really understand what a relationship is and what all comes along with any type of relationship. And what's up, my Shamari in the house? To have a relationship that you think is one-sided, if it's not giving you what you need out of it, it is no longer a relationship. Or when you have to contribute back to that relationship, now you feel like you want to disband that relationship. And so therefore, if millennial people would take a more interest in understanding what a relationship is and why one is formed. I listen at people in my church. I don't say anything like I used to say. And people try to develop a relationship. I learned this. I was with my mother-in-law. She was a Cancer. And my ex-wife was a Aries. And they always develop these type of relationships with people, in my opinion, very superficial. Very disingenuous. Because if I call somebody daughter, I'm not going to be fucking her. If I call somebody son, I'm not going to be fucking him. If I call somebody mother, I'm not going to be fucking her. And a lot of people only to develop relationships spiritually or naturally with the sole intent of taking advantage or abusing that relationship for what it has to offer them. And everybody groans. Y'all know I'm not here to change nobody's mind. I'm telling you why relationships are valuable and why they should be nourished. You do certain man with your relationships, however you do. However they work out, it is what it is. I believe that a person should sit down and evaluate themselves or the person they're trying to be in a relationship. I don't care if it's a friendship. I don't care if it's prayer partners. I don't care if it's business partners. A lot of people are calling people friend, or that's my girl, that's my homeboy, and they haven't really validated those relationships. And sometimes you can put so much emphasis on a relationship that that does not have the capacity to return what you're asking for. If that person did not agree to the terms of your relationship, then how can you honestly expect that? The same thing that happens in the Bible. And I'm gonna say this again. If you're going to practice the ATRs, those are African traditional religions. The mentality, the mythology, and the rules and the regulations that are in Christianity, and many of you guys, I laugh a lot of times because you're not even a devout Christian. There ain't nothing about you say Christian. Nothing about how you operate. But anyway, but leave that stuff and that dogma out of the ATRs. When we're in a platform, we're talking about conjure, and we know that that is not the terminology of a Christian. When we're talking about vortexes and talking about what we were talking about today in the group, licorice root, that is not Christian talk. And I want you to understand how you're doing yourself an injustice, that you're not separating the two. Separate them, because what's going to happen is you're going to, whether consciously or intentionally, say certain things, and now people looking at you crazy. Because if people, a lot of people have never had Christianity as their religion or a Christian influence, and they can take some of the things that Christian or people that are influenced by the church may say or do very offensively, and rightfully so. That is not a terminology that you need walking out into the spiritual streets of the ATRs and utilizing that verbiage, okay? Tomorrow I'm going to teach something. So, when it comes to relationships, you cannot enter, I'll take that back. You can enter into a relationship with Impungo, Orisha, man, woman, coven, Ile, for the sole purpose to benefit from that relationship. But it's not going to last, and you're not going to be able to nourish that relationship. And I'm going to explain why. When you listen to people, oh, I'm a nurturer, but everything they get involved, they kill it. You're not a nurturer. You may have nurturing energy, but you're not a nurturer. And I'm going to tell you why. The word nurture means to provide with the food or the substance necessary for growth, health, and a good condition. I'm going to say that again. To nurture something or nurture a person, place, or thing spiritually, I must provide the food or the substance that are necessary for any individual's growth, their health, or their well-being, and create good condition. This is what the scripture said in Psalm 23. Lay me down in green pasture. You have to have green grass to nurture. You have to have a healthy environment to nurture. You have to have growth to nurture. And when you want things, you want the energy that you're giving off to be something very different than the energy you want. This is why you can't draw that energy in. And if you do so happen to get that energy, you're going to still mess up that relationship because your intention is not to nourish that relationship. Let me say this again. If only thing that you keep going to Jehovah Jireh is for him to provide for you, and you never intend to have to provide anything to Jehovah Jireh, that relationship is going to be off kilter. If you're always going to your Egum, looking for them to nourish y'all's relationship, and you're never reciprocating back to him or her, this is what disallows melanated people to have good relationship with their Egum or a particular spirit. In my endeavor to help Minister Mario, son of Achosi, to maintain his life force and maintain his life, period. I was, Mother Susan called me a mother hen. So I asked her, when people say stuff, I want to know why you saying that. She said, Apostle, I've never seen somebody take care of somebody like that. Like, he literally did not want for nothing. And you did that every single day. She said, I have watched people that say they love their loved ones and not accommodating them to the point that they can still thrive or she made the term that they lose their quality of life because they're sick. They no longer, people don't take them out. They don't do the things they used to do. And she was reminding me, she said Minister Mario was at restaurants, he like to the last day, literally. He was getting coffee, he was ordering stuff. I mean, he never lost a beat. And there were days that I can see that he was struggling. And you nourished him back to a place of comfort. I want y'all to really understand relationships and why they are so valuable. I nourished that relationship to the point that Ochosi, his guardian Orisha, blessed me. And as a child of Oya, Oya does not, her children, male or female, do not come in with Ochosi. But because of how I nourished that relationship, sir and ma'am, spirits are watching how you take care of their children. It's not just your job to look out and cherish and honor and nourish Apostle Ely. I also have an obligation, if I want that, if I deem that relationship valuable. What's up, Trion, of my Aries? Too many of melanated people, we're toxic. And we don't value relationship. We want relationship, but we do not value those relationships. Watch what you do. Nothing remains healthy after it has been in a relationship with us. Nothing continues to grow once they've been in a relationship with one of us. Nothing is still in good condition once they had a relationship with us. So therefore, it leads me to believe that we don't know how to value or nurture relationship. People want to be in relationship with me because they see what they can benefit. They're not in a relationship with me for reciprocation. What's up, my Ryan, my Libra in the house? Let me explain something. Just because you call something a relationship, don't make it a relationship. I like the term situationship. If it is not being nourished, if it is not growing, and if it's not healthy, it's not a relationship. It's not a valuable, I take that back. It's not a valuable relationship. Because not only am I growing spiritually, my spiritual team is growing. Not only am I getting healthy, my spiritual team is getting healthy. I'm also sharing that health with other people. Being in a relationship of any kind, especially spiritually, your energy is eternal. And that is the most important type of relationship that you should be trying to foster, and making sure that you have a good relationship with your Tata, your Mumbo, your Hugon, your Bokor, your Apostle, your Pastor, your whatever these spiritual leaders are. Even on social media, I realize I am a threat to a lot of people for various reasons. And so I'm the type of person, because I don't want to damage whatever relationship I have with people, I come in, I be a blessing, and I leave. I don't stick around long enough for you to feel like I'm trying something. Because a lot of people on social media have done that to other people, and therefore they think I'm going to do the same thing that they did. When you have poor relationships, you have poor mentality, and therefore you also have poor action. Let me explain it to you like this. I can't demand respect from you and I'm not giving you respect. I was talking to Ryan a little earlier, and I apologized. I told him I was sorry because I y'all know, anybody that follow me know that not all the times I turn my do not disturb thing off. And I was apologizing because I needed to do something for him, and my phone wasn't off; it just was on do not disturb. So I corrected the situation, but I made sure I apologize. And I want y'all to understand your title, your position, your anointing, your extraterrestrial connection does not make you not a decent person. It is, a lot of y'all don't understand something, and this is why I get irritated. Just because you don't value your dollar, your mother's dollar, your dad's dollar, or your husband or wife's dollar, or your children's dollar, or your consumer dollar. I value people's resources because I value mine. And so therefore, I'm always grateful. Come on here, somebody. Because in spite of my gift, my talent, and my ability, you can always support somewhere else. And you're choosing, because there's no gimmick here. There's no spells here being done. You're choosing to be present. And therefore, I want you to know that I understand the value of what you bring to my broadcast, my live, or what I'm doing. See, I don't like people in relationship that try to get advantages and try to operate outside of certain authority that was given to them. Let me tell y'all something. I always get callbacks, and I know I talk about this a lot, but I am such a good side piece. I am such a good third wheel. When I go to somebody's event or whatever, they swing thing that they got going on, I act accordingly. I don't act like that's my relationship. I'm the third wheel. I always ask, what's the ground rules? Can anybody hear me? What's the ground rules? Because I want to enjoy myself, and the only way I'm going to enjoy myself if I know the boundaries. I don't want to have to be guessing, because I want to enjoy this, and I want to be called back. Some of you guys will never have reoccurring customers, clients, because you don't value relationship and you don't know how to nourish relationships. And most of the times when there's a misunderstanding, I bite the bullet. Not because I'm a bigger person, because I'm not a big person. I'm a medium person. It has nothing to do with trying to be the bigger person. I value that relationship. It's not about me getting over, nobody getting over on me. Because if I don't want to do something, I'm going to not do it. But my point is, a lot of you guys want to enter into a relationship, whether business relationship, whether spiritual relationship. And when I'm talking to people, I want you to know your thoughts, your opinion matter. What I don't like is people try to get in relationship and they want to dominate the ideas of that relationship, as though other people don't have mindsets. Your relationship with me does not give you entitlement to my stuff. But if I want to share my stuff with you, in in the form of reciprocation, that's one thing. A lot of you guys don't know how to be in a relationship and mind your own business. You want me to say things or do things in that relationship that we have that I did not agree to. I have to watch what I say because you are turning our relationship into another type of relationship. And I always tell people this. I'm trying to show you why you're going to have problems in the ATRs. Because just because you don't have respect for your husband or your wife, your mother or your father, don't mean Kobe Inde gonna let you disrespect him. Doesn't mean that Zarabana is gonna let you disrespect him. Doesn't mean that Mama Chola, La Serene, Bast, Esther, Goddess or God, because you're going to try to have that same type of relationship with the ancestors. You're going to try to have that same relationship with these other energies, and they're not going to go for it. Certain man. In conjure, mysticism, you need to understand that you need to not just show appreciation, but value it. Which means there's an appraisal on your relationship, depending on how much time, and also I constantly hear from my vendors. Mr. Ely, thank you for being a Gold Star member. Thank you for being a long time. Oh my God, you've been with our company for years. I believe in longevity because I value those relationships. Because if something happens, because you have such a longevity of a relationship, then they're able to bite that bullet because they don't feel like you're going anywhere. I need y'all to really hear this. You're never going to get your Padrino, your Oba, your Hugon to give you certain things because you have shown in relationship you're not a long-term relationship person. And who wants to invest that kind of time, energy, and ache in somebody that is going to be with them short term? UPS was able to say to me, thank you for your 29 years of service, even though it's 30, because UPS run a year behind. They got deep pockets. They can do it like that. I retire. I want y'all to understand. I've been doing magic since I was 3 to 4 years old and have been still consistent in the black arts. Through relationships, through trials, tribulation, through mockery, through it all. I'm 52 years old. What haven't I been through in 52 years, especially in the church? What has not been said about me? Especially that I've been in the church. But I have been consistent in my relationship with the divine. Whatever I may call the divine, whether it's El Shaddai or the mighty and zombie, my relationship is the same. My treatment, just because I got cauldrons and orishas, that I already knew how to treat my own ancestors. I already knew how to treat my own Loas. I already knew how to treat the spirits of the cemetery. So just because I'm not calling them Baron Samzi or Gede, and I'm saying Oya, it's still a cemetery. I'm still going to show the same respect and value that I always had. I'm not going to change because I'm going to different graves. Just like I wouldn't piss on my grandmother's grave, I'm not going to piss on nobody else's grave. If I won't do it to my own, I'm not going to do it to somebody else's grave. That's why I was shocked when people were accusing me and Mr. Mario for out there in the cemetery messing with his ancestors. And the only ancestor that I went out in the cemetery to show him how to take care of his mother was his mom. Ever since Minister Mario, son of a Chosi, I want y'all to hear me real well, and it's not out of fear and not because somebody gonna whoop my ass. I have not touched Miss Mara's grave since Mario died. Somebody took some things that I had on Mario's grave and placed them on Miss Mara's tomb, her grave. I heard and got those off. Not that I meant any harm. I don't think the person meant any harm. I think that was really when they were putting his headstone out there. Because I didn't have a problem when Miss Lamar, because that was his mother and I was helping him. But out of respect for the other children, my hands were off. Do y'all understand? About relationship, not because they would do the same thing for me in return. It's not about, when y'all talking about relationship, you so worried about how other people are acting and treating you, you forgetting the real relationship that you have with the divine. And that is the most important energy, frequency, and vibration you need to be focused on. When you're investing in your spirituality, you should be understanding you're developing a relationship. And you need to know, how can I nourish this relationship? How can I make this relationship stronger? The reason why black people and melanated people have no problem burning down bridges, because you never value the bridge other than getting across to the other side. You never thought you would need that same bridge. That's why you didn't care about setting it on fire. A lot of y'all destroy relationships because you didn't see the need for that relationship after you used it that time. And not knowing down the road you were going to need that same person, that same place, and that same thing. This is why you can go out here and mistreat people like you do. It's not because you are completely ignorant. You don't think, it's like, I've never got initiated in any of these practices and feeling like that gave me a right to disrespect anybody else because they had more or less than what I had. I'm going to repeat that again. A lot of people that don't like me have a lot of respect for me because I don't mishandle people because of who I think and believe myself to be. I have never ever walked into Mother Susan's house without her permission. I have never walked all over her house without her permission. When I say, can I go to the restroom? Because she has 2 restrooms in her house. She tell me which one to go to, and that's what I go to, do my business, and come out that woman's bathroom. I'm not in there putting anything down. Any spiritual work that I have done in her house, I did it with her permission. What does it have to do with initiation? What does that have to do with me being the chief apostle? What that has to do with me having more economics or influence than her? The idea that you enter into a relationship and you determine how you're going to treat somebody in that relationship based on what you can get out of them or what you don't need them for, it's a character issue. And I still tell people I'm not nice. I can do very nice things. I was telling Mother Susan this morning, I said, I'm a very thoughtful person. But what I learned over the years, stop being in a relationship with people because they're not thoughtful like you, and you're gonna have a problem. Stop doing for certain people because they're not gonna reciprocate that back to you, and eventually you're gonna have a problem, and that's your fault. Everybody you can't go all in with because they ain't an all in person. Sometimes being who you are has to be regulated. That's what Minister Mario tell me all the time. He said, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just... No, he said no, because they going to get the wrong idea. People can get the wrong idea by you just simply being who you are. Because you're not regulating. You're not counting up the cost of where people are mentally and emotionally and what they are not accustomed to or used to. I used to share my wealth. And them same people that I shared my wealth with were the very type of people that would try to take my shit. Ain't had the nerve to disrespect me. You're operating in flight mind. Alright, action is foreign concept. Too soon. Exactly. Let me tell y'all something. In order to really function with me at this age, you're gonna really be grounded in yourself. The idea that you think you can impress me, like some of y'all come at me the wrong way. Because you hear me say, I'm about my money. I don't value relationship based on money, because if I did, me and you wouldn't have a relationship because you ain't got the money that I call money. So that can't be true. You don't have to be of some social status to be in a relationship with me, because I would not have poor friends. I would prefer them not to be poor or something that they can do for themselves that I can help them with and get them some money. Everybody is not well that is around me, and I don't judge them. But I also carry myself in a way to be respected. I want you to understand, when it comes to relationship with any spirit, any energy, any frequency, any vibration, you have to nourish that. You got to be willing for that that relationship to grow, to be healthy, or in a good condition. Just because they're in a relationship with you. I want everybody, this is why I do extra, because I want to make sure you got something out of my classes or my lives, or that's why I break it down in so many different ways, because I don't care what level you are on in life. I don't care where you are in the pace of life. You can come here and get some universal truth and still, as a melanated man or woman, grow from it. You can still end up being healthy. You can still end up being in a better state of version of yourself. Even when I'm doing destruction work, there's a mean to the ends. It's not that I'm out here just destroying people, places, and things because I ain't got nothing better to do, because I got an anointing. That's not balance. If you don't want to be perceived as an unbalanced person, then stop acting unbalanced. This is when I tell people, you don't love everybody, and it's okay. Stop saying it. You don't have to get along with everybody to be a decent person. Everybody don't want decent. Everybody don't want smart. Everybody don't want brilliance. Everybody don't like decor. Some people think I'm doing way too much, and they got a right to think I'm doing way too much as a sage. Just like I got the right to believe they're doing way too little. I actually believe they don't like themselves as much as I like myself. But that's my opinion and that's their opinion. What black people don't like is when we start evaluating opinions. Because as long as you feel that you're condescending me, it's good and it's cool. But if you feel that I'm condescending you, now all of a sudden we got a problem. You don't want, let me tell y'all something. If you got a good relationship with me or anybody, let me explain this to you. You're also responsible to protect that relationship. I love when I have certain conversations and it was like, I don't want them, I want to be able to share you with them, but I don't want them to do something and it's a reflection on me. That means that that person values that relationship. They care about who is interacting. You got some men and women out here, they don't value their relationship, so they don't care about whether that's your enemy or your adversary or whether that person did something or you said something. They don't care about that. They just have a relationship because they just trying to get what they need. They're trying to get that energy. They don't care how that is going to affect you. I don't trust them kind of people. When you're warming by the fire of my enemies, you ain't to be trusted. I ain't got to break my relationship with you. I just know how far to go with you. Sometimes you ending relationships way too soon. You sit here listening to all these people on here, cutting clear. Every relationship has seasons. And what if that person need to come back around in your life and you done cut them off? What if you are like Mark in the Bible, that you ain't mature enough to walk with Paul? But you get mature enough and now Paul saying, oh, come on, Mark. You ready? Some of y'all cut relationship because somebody turned you down. Because you ain't where they need you to be. And they don't want to waste your time or their time. That's why I said, get your money right. Because I don't want to sound offensive to you. I let you know what all this entails so you can get the most out of our relationship. Because everything ain't about you spending money. Sometimes you just need to hear my perception on things. And some of y'all, I would never let you have that kind of access to me because you're always abusing your relationship. Let me tell y'all something. You're so quick. And this is what I say about we're in cancer season. You cannot, I take that back. You can be that sensitive and be that harsh and cruel at the same time. And you think other people are always trying to throw some kind of shade. How about I'm just saying what the fuck I got to say? It ain't got nothing to do with you. I see it necessary to be said or to be acted upon, and that's what the fuck I'm doing. Why you got to take some feeling about what I'm saying or like I'm trying to say something? I don't try to say shit. I say it. Why would I throw shade when I can send a hurricane to fuck some shit? What's the purpose of shade? I said, what am I encouraged to give somebody a side eye? I never say I give side eye. I said side piece. It's different. Side eye and side piece. If you are not a truth teller and you struggling with the truth and struggling with honesty, me and your relationship is gonna have ups and downs. Don't mean we can't be in relationship, but don't get mad when I call you a liar. I gotta be able to call a spade, or I can't be in a relationship with you. Spirituality, the reason I can text my padrino and he's still moving from me when I ain't speak to him. He reaches out to me more than I reach out to him. But when I ask him something, he make it happen. You know why? Because he has a relationship with me and I always handle business. I don't ask for stuff that I'm not having no intention of doing. Some of y'all will talk and have a good relationship and start talking that bullshit to people. Don't sell your good relationship dreams. You got associates for that. Go vent to them. But your valuable relationship, you don't go to them with bullshit. You go to them when you ready for business. You ready for action. Relationships are beneficial but should not be entered only for the benefits. I'm not telling you, I want you to benefit. Psalm 105. I want you to benefit from the platform, the website, you come to my church. If we having sex, I damn sure want you to benefit. I need a call back. But, so I don't have a problem with people benefiting off of me. I have a problem with the reason why you are in this relationship, just to benefit. Because you have no intention of reciprocating what you're asking for. You want me to shine for you, but you ain't shining for me. When I say my Father's Day was piss poor, when I say my Father's Day was piss poor, when I say I'm not a piss poor father, spiritual or natural, but people don't value black men the way they want to be valued as a black woman. And the Sagittarian in me, with the moon in Aries and the rising sign Pisces, say, okay, your day coming, and I'm gonna show you how that shit feel. Let me tell you something. When you don't value your relationship, you do stuff when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and you want people to accept that. I'm not that type of person. I am not that kind of a person. I'm not going to let you abuse me because you have a problem with black men in leadership. You have a problem with the relationship you have with masculine energy. That's your problem. And let me explain something to you ladies. My platform is predominantly supported by black women. Never said it wasn't. But if you were so perfect, lesbian relationship would not have any breakups. People that are lesbians would not get cheated on, lied to. The same problems that heterosexual people got, lesbians got, with woman on woman. Interracial, it don't matter. They all being cheated on. So don't make like it's a man thing. Just like some things that ain't a woman thing, it's just a people thing. But my point is, because men don't get a pass to not be accountable. Men always being checked. No matter what society we in, we getting checked. You can't talk about how good you are and great you are when two women can't even live together. If you got good pussy and she got good pussy, why you fucking with somebody else pussy? If you're so great and wonderful and she's so great and wonderful and y'all all is and become a, then why the fuck are y'all in divorce court? Why is the lesbian that's playing the role of the man having the same frustration that men have with their women? Can't please them. So somewhere you got to be sober-minded. I don't care if you don't never lick no other woman's pussy. Get the message. You ain't got to be a lesbian to get the message. You ain't got to put on a strap on to get the message that I'm sending out. We need to value our relationships, if you so choose, sir, and also be able to nourish whatever those relationships are, and making sure they can grow, they are healthy, and they are in good condition. And that is when you will fight the good fight of faith for your relationships. I have not regretted one relationship I let go. When I say I was glad to see you come and glad to see you go, I meant that. I don't care if we don't ever yoke up again, in heaven or hell. I authentically, genuinely try to have a relationship with everybody on the individual level. Minister Murray said, how you going to do that? I said, I'll find a way. But I have a way of having individual relationship with people. And I believe that's a gift from God. But not everybody values their relationship. And they're willing to gamble those relationships and the condition of those relationships on various things. I want you to take out some time today, because you got to know what energy you really attract. And you need to know why you are in certain relationship. A lot of people be talking to me about their relationship. I really be looking at them. It's a reason why you end up with those type of men, those type of women, those type of friends. It's a reason. Energy don't lie. Energy don't lie. And if you value relationship, why would you allow somebody to mishandle you, mistreat you, or devalue you? Most people can stay in a relationship with me because they lying on me. They're saying I'm devaluing when I'm really putting them in check and putting them in their place. And when they come to that conclusion, they good with it. They get offended before they actually listen. If you really want to value our relationship, not about what all I can bring in your life, but understand reciprocity. And when I tell you I want to see you win, you shouldn't doubt my word, because I gave you no reason to doubt me. Because if I didn't want to say it, I didn't say it. I wouldn't have said it. But because you're in a relationship with me, that means you ain't got to work. You ain't got to do your part. That's what a lot of y'all in these relationships. You feel like the more you're in a relationship and somebody care about you, the less you got to do. And that's just flat out wrong. And you don't care for that person because you're putting unnecessary pressure and stress on them. No matter what's going on in my life, I never try to put the weight of my pressure on anybody. I look for assistance, but Do I look for you to carry my cross? I've had people, cause they like to blame people in their life, and they'll say, "Oh, Apostle, I didn't do that." I say, "No." I say, first of all, I say you got a misunderstanding with me. I'm the head of this ministry. I take full responsibility for anything that go on here. I said I was holding you accountable for what you said you were gonna do, but you ain't got to do it because it's my church, it's my platform. I'm never looking for somebody to blame. I take responsibility. And when you in relationship with people that take responsibility, that's not a get out of jail free card for you to get out of blame. If you really knew how abusive you was and toxic you was, you would understand why you got the type of relationship you got. And that's why people like me don't have time for it. You don't value your relationship. Because you're going to need me more than just doing spiritual work. And I'm going to need you more than just being a client and somebody that's transactional. I know that relationships are far beyond that. I understand that. That's why my spiritual dad, my grandmother, when her spirit came up, she would recognize my spiritual dad. And he said that before he even did that ceremony. He said, your grandmama didn't owe me nothing. He said, your grandma think like a man. She all about business. He said, most of these women come in here, they be trying to trade off pussy to me. He said, your grandma wasn't like that. She was about that business. And she paid me. She didn't die and leave this earth owing me one dime. Many of y'all fracture y'all relationship because you're always trying to get something out of somebody that you want everything that relationship have to offer, and you don't want to give much of little of nothing. That's what make you feel powerful, and that makes you feel like you got over on somebody, but you just fracturing your relationship to they get to the point to being dissolved. When I call them cauldrons, when I call them Orishas or Loas or Impungo or whatever spirits that I call in my cemeteries that I go to, I want them to move. I want them to move ASAP. And they're going to do it for me because I got good relationship. I left them in good condition. I left them growing. All right. What's up, my 69? Raina in the house. Yeah, you gotta go back because I'm get out. I'm gonna get off. I need to get some rest. Guys, this can be a beautiful thing. All this going on in America, imagine what would happen if my tribe come together and invest. That right, baby. Make that money. I believe in that. What is gonna happen? Because I don't mind stepping in places for people. I really don't. But it has to be reciprocity. And if you show me you got me like that, I'm gonna show you I got you like that. That's what kind of person I am. That ain't got to do with my initiations, my anointing. It has all to do with my person, my individuality. All right. I hope that y'all got something really out of the relationship. This is another thing that people say about me, which is not true. People say that I don't want to be in a relationship. What I say is I'm not going to be in what you call a relationship. I really understand what a relationship is. And I'm not going to become your statistic. I'm not going to become the next nigga that ain't what you thought he was. I'm not gonna become that actor in your life. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in filling the position. I'm not gonna be that next ministry that you can say you gave your heart and you got nothing in return. I'm not gonna be your punching bag. You're a fucked up person with fucked up ways and find yourself in fucked up situations. And you need somebody to throw that fucked up shit on. And I'm not casting for that role. There's other people that will play the fool in your life, the scapegoat in your life. I'm just not the person. I'm not auditioning for those roles. I want roles that bring value and meaning to my life. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. And stop saying that Apostle Ela don't want to be in a relationship. You're not equipped. You're not in a place to be in a relationship with me. And I'm not gonna devalue who I am in order for you to feel complete and satisfied. I'm not gonna do that. I wouldn't do that for my mom. And she birthed me in the world. All right. What's up, my Boaz? Thank you. I see y'all a little later.